All right. Well, we gave him a couple extra minutes, so we'll go ahead and start.
Okay.
All right. So welcome to this evening's Boerne neighborhood discussion. We have one item on the agenda for this evening, and it is to discuss the special use permit for a drive-through at Commons at Menger Creek, Unit 11, Lot 11A. It's also addressed as 84 Herff. So we'll just kind of go through here. So tonight, I'll just do a little introduction to the project, give a little more background information about what an SUP is and what the process is, show a few slides, and open it up for our applicant to go ahead and talk about it. If anybody pops on before then, if they have any questions, there'll be time for some dialogue. Otherwise, we'll move forward to next steps. So here we go. So the Boerne Neighborhood Discussion Meeting is an informal opportunity for residents and local business owners to learn about proposed developments. For developers, this helps you gain early insight into community perspectives and identify potential issues. For residents, this gives you an opportunity to learn about proposed developments, to voice concerns, and provide some input that could help shape the project in a way that you find appealing. It's also worth noting that these meetings are informational purpose only, and it does not replace the public meetings. We'll talk a little more at the end about the upcoming public hearings. All right, so why are we here tonight? So every property inside the city limits of Boerne has a zoning designation. A zoning district designation exists for lots of reasons. It helps promote health, general welfare, lessen street congestion, prevent overcrowding, et cetera, et cetera. They do this by governing height, building design, as well as land uses and some other items as well. Some of these land uses do require something called a special use permit, which is an SUP, which is a special zoning permit, which is where we're at tonight. So this proposed development includes a drive-through. So you'll hear, anybody watching, we'll hear more about it in a second. But the developer is proposing to construct a drive-through to go along with a coffee shop and a retail space. The coffee shop and the retail space are allowed by right. They would just have to meet all of the development regulations in the Unified Development Code, the Engineering Design Manual, et cetera, et cetera. However, the drive-through specifically is what's triggering this discussion. So the way this process works is the applicant submits to the city. We review it. We start to build this connection with the applicant and talking about the project. Then we have this meeting tonight, and this is a voluntary meeting, so we do thank the applicant for coming on here and taking the time to open this conversation and have a dialogue. So tonight, that's exactly what we're doing. The next step of this would be a public hearing at the Planning and Zoning Commission. That's this one right here. And we'll have that date at the end. So if anybody is interested in attending, they can do so. We'll have that information as well as my contact information. If anybody has any additional questions for me or needs more information about how to attend the public hearing. Final decision will be made by City Council. This will be an additional public hearing as well as two readings. These dates will be set a little further along, but we'll have that information available as well. It's worth noting as well, something I skipped right here in the BND meeting / public input is in addition to this meeting, there will be a sign posted on the site advertising the public hearing that will be held, the date, the case number, the basic information. As that sign as well will have my contact information. So if anybody sees it and has a question, they can reach out to me as well. We also send notice letters to every property owner within a 500-foot radius of the property we're discussing tonight. So this does go to the property owner, not necessarily to all of the residents. I point that out because we do have an apartment complex to the north side of this property. And so we send one notice to the property owner, and then we sent the text message advertising this meeting to as many individuals within that apartment complex as we could. As well as we'll have that sign. So in case anybody was missed through this process, or any stakeholder that frequents the corridor, whether through driving or walking their dog or whatever, they'll be notified of this proposal and they can reach out that way. All right. So then let's go ahead and start talking about the property. So as I mentioned, this property is 84 Herff Road. So just to help everybody understand where we're talking about, because it's a pretty undeveloped area right now, this is Herff Road. Right here is Old San Antonio, and here is Main Street. This is Galant Fox with the apartment complex behind it, and this is the veterinary office. So it will be this property highlighted in this lime green square that we're discussing tonight. Okay. So this property is within the auto-oriented commercial area of our future land use map. So I talked a little about zoning a few minutes ago. And if we're looking at a slice of the planning pie, future land use map is going to be a more overarching view. So this is a map that was approved by our Planning and Zoning Commission as well as City Council for all property within our city limits and our extraterritorial jurisdiction, with more general concepts of how the area should develop. So this area is targeted for auto-oriented commercial, which seems pretty close in line with the uses that are being presented tonight and with the zoning district that is on the property. So that zoning district is called C2. It's Transitional Commercial Zoning District. And here we can still see the property highlighted in this lime green. This property is also within something called an overlay district, the South Boerne Overlay District. And what this is you can see it in this map. It's this hash over this colored area. So that hash says it's within this overlay district. So this helps create a more unique area. It has more targeted regulations for this area to help develop in the way that was intended. So in this area, it's to create more of a live, work, play situation that's pedestrian oriented. And there's different regulations in the UDC for that. All right, so then we're going to get into some of the fun stuff. So here is an overall area for the property we're looking at tonight is this one right here. It will be developed eventually in conjunction with this property to the left. So we do have, excuse me, to the right. So we do have it included here in this plan, but let's dive in a little on what this looks like. All right. So here is the property. Again, the special use permit is specific for the drive-through on site. They're proposing a coffee house here, a retail space here, patio, parking, access, and access. And I'll let the developer talk a little more about it, but this will help get you thinking. Here is a couple of renderings that were provided by the applicant as well of what they foresee the area to look like once it's developed. Okay. So with that, I'd like to go ahead and open it up to Mark or Justin to go ahead and share your screen and give your presentation, or go ahead and open it up for questions, whichever you would like to do.
Okay. Thank you, Frankie. I appreciate it. Good evening, everybody. Let me put my screen on here. So before we get into some details, just a little bit of recap on Frankie's presentation. Let me see. Okay, can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so on behalf of Boerne Commons LTD, LJ Engineering has formally submitted a special use permit application for the purpose of attaining special use for allow for drive-through facilities on the subject lot. So location is South Boerne. It is lots taken out of the Commons Dominga Creek Master Development Plan. Zooming in here, the subject lot is lot 7. However, since 2012, we have platted and we are now Commons Dominga Creek Unit 11. Let me see here, which is, here we go. So this is the current plat. So we're looking at lot 11A, Block B is a subject lot. The zoning is C2 commercial, as Frankie mentioned, with the South Boerne Overlay District with a mixed use characterization overlay. So MUCZ is the overall zoning. And looking at the plat, that is now recorded again. Unit 11A, Block B is a subject lot. Um, taking taking a look from Google Earth, we are South Boerne, as you can see. Zooming in here to Herff Road, South Boerne. On the north side, Herff Road is the subject unit. The lot to the left is 11A, the subject lot. To the north is Estrella apartment complexes that our subject lot abuts just a little bit to the south of it, and which were understood is a resulting issue. So just looking in here from street view, just taking a look into the lot, just for some clarity. We're gonna have us, I don't know why it does that. It does that to me every time. I gotta get it in here a couple times. We got an empty lot, Unit 11. It's gonna be these two parcels here. We have a channel fronting the property. We're gonna sheet flow any kind of drainage associated from the development to the frontage and into that channel. Yeah, so this is the lot. All right, so again, as Frankie mentioned, this is going to be the overall vision of the development. 11A is to the left. It's going to be Starbucks with some proposed retail. And by right, we are understood that drive-through facilities are not allowed abutting to residential property. And that is what the purpose of the special use permission is. So as you can see, drive-through is completely screened. It's going to be screened from the building. It is going to be screened from medium to large trees. It's going to have shrubs to help with any kind of eyesore or any kind of noise disturbances created from a drive-through. So yeah, so this is the overall vision. The adjacent lot here is going to be a separate site development permit, not really associated with this current one right now. So yeah, so that is the overall. Here is a storefront. Also, as Frankie mentioned, kind of just going through some of the same slides. Storefront. Look into the west from the driveway access. And then Pocket Park. That's going to be to the rear. It's aesthetically pleasing, and it really supports the vision of this area. And we think it can fit in just right if we can just get this drive-through permit approved. So as mentioned previously, it's not permitted, so we're requesting that. Moving along to, let's take a look at this site plan. Here we go. So this was a site plan we submitted with our application package. We are proposing a right in, right out curb cut commercial driveway into the property, and that is going separate from these plans. So that is access directly into the lot. And this is, again, the overall view. So the focus is the drive-through. It's going to be 11 car stacking. and 12-foot wide. And we feel it's not going to be an issue. With the Starbucks, we feel it's going to support, traffic through and in and around and maneuverability for parked vehicles. We feel it's going to just flow just fine. So there is some future plans of a cul-de-sac to the east. That's going to be a avenue collector cul-de-sac, which is going to provide additional access through and around. So totally auto oriented as desired. Um, we are boasting 36 parking spaces within this site plan. And again, it's going to be Starbucks to the left with mixed use retail to the right. And so that's a general overview of the site plan here. The focus is the drive-through. Switching over to some landscaping. As you can see, we have some medium to large shrubs and large trees. On the right side of the drive-through, we've got some more shrubs all along the property line to the west. The building is going to be screening. We're going to be having medium to large shrubs and oversized trees at the front. So a lot of this is going to be screened organically, naturally, and it's really going to support any type of noise or vibration generated from the drive-through. So I think the concern was the proximity of the apartment complex. And just taking a look back here to Google Earth, turning everything on. So there's kind of a dry spot immediately adjacent on the other side of our property line. So the drive-through is going to be approximately right around this location. So just a quick, we're about 200 feet away from any residence. So we feel, this shouldn't be too much of an issue. There's really nothing in this area on the Astoria apartment complex. So to the closest ear, we're 200 feet away. So we feel that's beneficial, and that should alleviate any concerns of disturbance to the residential community adjacent. Um, and just that's pretty much the gist of what we got. So this was a landscape conceptual. It has changed a little. We are not proposing to move the driveway. So this one is a little bit more accurate. This is what we submitted with this SUP package. And as you see, we still have trees and shrubbery, medium to large, and overstory trees supporting the screening. So it's going to be a nice, luscious, organic screen without any concerns of noise and vibrations. And just closing out, touching a little bit on development impacts. We don't foresee a drive-through affecting any of the community safety. As far as a Starbucks coffee shop, there's no foreseen or identifiable concerns with this request. With regard to the traffic concerns, we feel Starbucks drive-through window is anticipated to assist in the traffic maneuverability into, through, and out of the site without any kind of internal traffic congestion, without a drive-through window. If there's no drive-through, it's going to be a mess. We're going to need to get every consumer is going to need to park and come in and out. So we really feel the drive-through assists in this development. Parking also is going to benefit. Like I said, so drivers can come in, consumers can come in and out, get in and out, in and out. So parking is going to benefit. We don't see any foreseen adverse impacts on loading or driveways or building setbacks or the density, operational hours, property values. As far as the view shed protection, and these are items from the UDC that was part of the SUP package that we needed to touch on. as far as development impacts. So as far as a view shed, the whole site's going to be screened organically. That's not going to be an issue. Noise is going to be at a low. We don't feel the drive-through is going to affect any kind of noise factor, any kind of lighting or vibration. That's all not of any concern. And that really sums up what we have on the subject site and what we're gunning for. And we hope to have the community support in the P&Z on May 5th to allow for the permit. And at this time, we welcome any questions or concerns.
Yeah, so if you have any questions about the project or about how it will be developed, feel free to unmute and ask them now or pop it in the chat box. Either way.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just curious about the traffic flow on or how the cars are going to get into the drive-through, because the way it looked to me, you're going to come in from the west of the building, right? Down, what is it, Galant Drive?
Yes, ma'am.
And
So
then it looks like you'd have to do like a quick U-turn to get into the drive-through. Is that right?
it is, yes, ma'am. So that's going to be secondary access. Also is this access directly off of Herff Road, where it is a smooth transition into
Oh,
here.
okay, I see. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that is secondary. And yeah, so it's a 26-foot wide access road. So there's no foreseen issues with, a regular passenger vehicle making that radius right there.
Mm-hmm.
It is doable.
Okay.
But yes, you are correct. From traffic coming from the west, it'll be like a switchback or
I just didn't realize you had that other access you were adding from Herff, so that
yeah.
makes sense to me.
Yes, ma'am. There's a right in, right out curb cut, non a commercial driveway being constructed.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Great question. Any other questions? Okay, no worries. We'll go ahead and move to the next portion then.
Okay, well, let me stop sharing.
Perfect. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here we go. So what are the next steps then? So today, if you did have anything else you wanted to share, anything like that, that would be feedback that would be added to this consideration of this special use permit. We are going to hold a public hearing before the Planning and Zoning Commission, that's P&Z Commission, on May the 5th. This will be at 6 p.m. here at City Hall next to the City Library. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My name is Frankie Linder. I'm the Assistant Planning Director here with the City of Boerne. Feel free to send me an email, as well as this is our shared planning email. You get a fast response if you do that one. And if you have any questions or any thoughts after this meeting, feel free to do that as well. This meeting is recorded, so it will be posted shortly, so you'll be able to look back on it and show it to a friend if you would like as well. And so if they have any questions or anything else, feel free to shoot me an email and we'll get you the information as soon as we can. And moving forward, you can, stay informed. You can monitor the city's website for updates or meeting notices, or again, you can shoot me an email and we can let you know what's going on and what's the next step in the process. Does anybody have any questions about the process, SUP, or the project? All right. Well, I sure appreciate y'all attending this meeting today. If you do have any questions or any follow-up, please feel free to send me an email, and we can either email, set up a meeting, or have a phone call, whatever you prefer.
Thank you, Frankie.
Thank you, Justin. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
y'all's time.
Thanks, Mark.
Yep. Thank you, Justin.
All right. Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye.